Hello friends, welcome back to the Python programming session. In the earlier session, we had seen the geometry managers available in Tkinter. They were the path method, the place method, and the grid method. And in today's session, let's move on to some of the widgets which are available in Tkinter. There are around 20 widgets available in Tkinter. And today, let's look into the label widget. So friends, what is a label widget? A label widget can be used to show some text or image on the Tkinter screen. So we can use the label widget to show some text or an image on the Tkinter screen. The syntax for the label widget is a variable which holds the label widget. So any variable, it can be an identifier. This can be an identifier, and then we have to specify label. The name label should be specified, and within parentheses we have to specify the main Tkinter window, comma, the options available. So whatever options we want to specify, we can specify with the options separated by commas. First parameter should be the Tkinter main window. So there are many options available under the label widget. So the options available are BG. BG represents the background color behind the widget. So whenever when we want a widget on the label widget on the screen, we can change the background color by specifying it in the BG parameter. So we can say BG equal to red, then the background of the widget becomes red in color. BD, that is the width of the border width. We can give it as 1, 2, 3. If we want a higher width, we can give it as 10, 20. So BD represents the width of the border. Third one is cursor. Suppose we place the label widget on the Tkinter screen, and when we hover it over the widget, label widget, we can specify the cursor type, whether it should be an arrow or dot. We can specify the cursor type. So when it hovers over the widget, label widget, the cursor will be changed into arrow symbol or a dot symbol, whichever we have specified in the option. Fourth one is the font. So we know that it shows some text. Label widget is used to show some text on the Tkinter screen. So the type of the font type can be given with the font parameter. So by giving font option, we can give the value, whether it should be Arial, Helvetica, Courier, and we can also give the size, the font size. So for this font is used to represent the font type and size which we want to incorporate in our text. Then comes FG, the foreground color of the text written inside the widget. We all know that the label widget is used to show some text. So the background color is represented by BG and the foreground color is represented by FG. So the text color is represented by FG. We will look into it in an example. Then comes the height, which specifies the height of the widget. Then is the image. We can also insert an image with the help of the label widget on the Tkinter screen. So whatever image we want to insert can be specified with the image parameter. Then we have justify. It helps in justifying the text, whether it should be left orientated, right orientated, or center orientation. The ninth one, we have the text. What text has to be written within the label widget? So we can specify the text to be displayed on the screen. Then we have text variable. The text which has been written can be captured in a variable, and that is nothing but the text variable. Finally, we have the width, which specifies the width of the widget. So friends, the important options are BG, that is the background color, BD, width of the border, cursor. If the mouse pointer hovers on the label widget, the cursor, what type of cursor should be specified? Whether it should be an arrow or a dot, we can specify. Font is also important to get the font type and size. Foreground color, height of the widget, the image that should be inserted in the widget, justification, justify, that is the orientation of the text. Then the text to be displayed should be specified in the text parameter. Text variable is a variable which holds this particular text, and width is nothing but the width of the widget. So there are many more options. Some of the important ones have been covered over here. And the syntax for label widget is label main window, that is the Tkinter main window, comma, the options separated by commas. So now, after seeing this, we have come to know that the label widget can be used to insert a text or an image onto the Tkinter screen. Now, with the help of an example, code example, let's see how it works, how the label widget works. So firstly, we have to say from Tkinter import all, import star. So it will import all from Tkinter, import all, it will import the Tkinter module. Now we have to create a main window. So let me say win equal to Tk. So this one will create the main Tkinter window. Then I'll specify the size of the main window. So for that I have to use tkwin.geometry and I have to specify the pixels. Let me say 500 and then 500, which should be given in quotes separated by an X symbol. Then we have win.title is nothing but the title given to the Tkinter screen. So let me give it as label. So these three are for the Tkinter screen. Now in the second part, let's create a label widget. So for this, let me say label 1 is equal to label. So this is the identifier which holds the label widget. Label is the name which label should be given for the label widget. And the first parameter is nothing but win. That is the Tkinter window. So win is the first parameter. Then we can specify all the options which we require. Now I am giving BG, that is the background color, equal to red, comma. Then FG, that is the foreground color, equal to black. Then I am saying my text equal to hello. Text is the text which has to be displayed on the Tkinter screen. And now I am saying my font equal to in tuple format Courier, comma 10. So this is the font. And now I am closing this parenthesis. So my label 1 will hold the label widget which should be placed in the main window, that is the Tkinter window, comma, background color is red, foreground color is black, text is equal to hello, and font is Courier and size is 10. After creating this label widget, now we have to place it on the main screen. We have to position it on the main screen. So for positioning it, let me say label 1 dot place. I am using the place method in the geometry manager. Let me say my x is equal to 30, y is equal to 30. So this I am placing. Firstly I am importing the Tkinter module. Then I am creating the main window. Then I'm creating a label widget, placing the label widget, and then I'm calling my main event loop. That is main loop. So this is the end of the program. So friends, from Tkinter import all, then my first step is to create a Tkinter screen, which is equal to WIN. So it will create a Tkinter screen which is having width is 500 and height is 500 pixels. So height is 500 and width is also 500 pixels. And now I am giving the title as label. So this particular main window will have a title which is called label. So it will have the title label in it. Now I am creating the label widget. This was for the window. This is the second step wherein I am creating a label widget and placing it in the main window. So the widget will be placed in the main window and it will have background as red color. So my widget will have background color as red. So this will be the background color of the widget, which is equal to red. And my foreground color is black and the text is hello. So within the background color red, I am having a foreground color which is equal to black. And the text is nothing but hello. So hello will be the text which will be in black color. The background will be red. Foreground is the text color. So the text hello will appear in black color, the foreground color. And the font is nothing but Courier and size is 10. So it is of the font, hello is of the font Courier and it is 10. You can change it to Arial and 50. So you will get that particular font type and font size. And now I am placing it on the position where x is 30. This x is equal to 30 and this y is equal to 30. So it will position the label widget in this particular manner. Then I am calling win.main loop. So a main event loop will be created which will take care of the processing whatever happenings are happening within the screen. Once we close this main screen, then the event loop will get terminated. So placing is the third step and event loop is the fourth step. So firstly we are creating a main window, then we are placing the label, creating the label widget and then placing the widget and then creating a main event loop. So this is how, with an example, I think you were able to understand the label widget. In the next session, let's cover how we can insert an image into the label widget. Hope so friends, it is clear for you. If you have any doubts, please do reach to me out in the comment section. If you like my video, click on the like button and please do subscribe to get notifications of my future videos. Till then, see you. Bye bye.